Aloha, my name is Anna Covert, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful house of John Pitre here in Oahu. This week on the Covert Code, the topic is NFTs, the mystery. And it's amazing for me to be here with John because, as you may recall, just a little over a year ago, we sat here at the beginning of the Covert Code podcast, and I was sharing the wonderful story of John being an artist, engineer, so many wonderful things he's been up to these years. And at the very, very end, we started talking about the idea of NFTs. And here we are, flash forward a whole year later, with the launch of Artopia NFT, which really the vision is that it's a safe place for investors and artists to participate in this new, bold world ahead of us, which is non-fungible tokens. So thanks so much for being here, John.
Well, it's great to be here. And as the economy turns, unfortunately, in the direction it's going, with a lot of inflation, art has become a safe haven for investment, along with gold and assets and real estate and things like that, because people are looking for a place to put their money where they're not going to lose it.
That's right. And I think it's so interesting. And for me, the reason I wrote my first book was because of consumer protection, because I saw so much fraud happening for businesses, and I had clients crying to me on the phone, where all this digital fraud, and now it's double that. But for me, a lot of my passion comes from seeing that there's problems, right? And then being able to create a solution. And I think what's been interesting, just since we've even launched Artopia, we as a company have been part of our first crypto scam. And I have an article about it that I'm going to be publishing. But really, the bottom line we're now seeing that this is happening, and people want to be on the absolute lookout for these types of schemes where, they're making you pay. And I'll tell you what happened, right? So you got an email, remember, from a potential collector. And this was a while ago, and I was talking with this collector and, telling them that we were going to be on OpenSeas. He, of course, he or she, we're not sure, had some concerns about OpenSeas because they said that they had been the subject of some fraud, which was a Coinbase scam.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
All right. So, fine. I kind of didn't really speak to them very much, and we worked on our launch. And then we're getting ready to launch, and I sort of reached back out because he's been emailing us, right? And he wanted to use this program called Store.cloud. So immediately, this is my first time, and I think all of our first time even using cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you, even setting up a wallet took me, I think, 2 days, because here's the thing, fans. Once you set up a crypto wallet, they issue you a 12-character word, like horror, peanuts, chair, whatever it is. And they will never give it back to you ever again. So if you don't save it, you lose it forever. There's no password resets on crypto wallets either. Did you know that?
No.
So this was a big surprise for me and very worrisome. So I'm like printing things and I'm like copying things and, oh, wow, So I moved some money over and I'm getting ready to set up this account. First thing I do, go online, I'm researching. Is there any potential scams associated with the Store.cloud? None come up, none surface. All the AI couldn't find anything. And I'm like, okay, well, let's still take it step by step. So I take funds and put them from PayPal into the wallet, Coinbase wallet. Then from the Coinbase wallet, they transact. You to pick a type of crypto. And in this case, it was Ethereum. And that's another thing that you don't realize about crypto is that unlike having a bank account, you log in your bank account, you see what the bank account's worth. With crypto, it's changing all the time because it's a moving target.
Sure.
Right? So 1 minute it's $300, the next minute it's $200, $210 or whatever it was. It's going so fast. I was like, wow, this is something.
Or it could go the other way.
Or it could go the other way. It wasn't quite that variable, but it was moving. So I move the money into the art store, and I burn this, it's called gas fees. Whenever you create an NFT, it's secured by the blockchain. This non-fungible token, which is this art investment, has a value. Well, why does it have a value? Right? And a lot of things I think I was always confused about with crypto in general is when people would say that they were mining crypto. And I was like, what on earth are we talking about here? What are we actually mining? But I finally figured it out, right? So with Bitcoin, how they were able to create this infrastructure, what they really needed was servers, lots of servers all around the world so that they could move money, digital currency around. So every different blockchain, and in this case, the token, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they have a certain digit length of a password key. And it could be 100 characters, it could be 200 characters, whatever that might be. So in order to incentivize people to create these server farms, Bitcoin put Bitcoin in some places, like Arizona. They put the coin there. So when people were mining it, just like mining for gold, they opened up servers, big super servers. We're talking big money, right?
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then they had to burn it. They had to mint it. And so what they were doing when they were burning or mining was they had to go through the blockchain. Number 1, number 8. So it could take a certain amount of time to mine 1 unit, depending on how long the string was.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what the whole, that's how they got kind of where they were. Right? So flash forward, right, to there's a fee to create something on the blockchain. So when we put this beautiful piece up, there's a key, and that verifies for everyone out there that this is unique and just like a watermark. It can never be changed, altered, or modified. And that's what gives it its value. So we had this buyer right immediately. I sent him the link. He bought this first piece of art. And I was feeling great. I'm like, oh my gosh, 1.5 Ethereum. He purchased it. Wonderful. So then the next step to make sure that it was legitimate, I was baby stepping, was to take the money out of the account, right? So I go and I try to take the money from the art store back to our Coinbase wallet. Up comes a little warning saying that I first have to pay the commission. So the art store takes a 5% commission. But you would think, right, and then the good platforms like OpenSeas that we're on now, and we're on, anyway, they will allow you to pay the commission with the money that you just generated. But in this case, they said, no, you have to pay the fee with Ethereum. So I was like, well, this doesn't seem like, but again, there's a live chat. I'm talking with someone. I look again online. I'm like, is there any BuzzFeed where people go to complain? I'm like, is there anything out there? Didn't seem like it. I'm like, okay. So I move some more funds over to pay the commission. Goes through. Now I'm ready to transact. I wanted to take the money out of the account. And I tried, so it could take 24 hours. So I wake up the next morning feeling good, ready to put some more art in there, right? Some more expensive pieces. And then I see that there's been a failure. So what? A failure. It says that the money did not transact into the account. So immediately I jump on with chat and support. And I ask why. And they said, oh, there's some concern about the copyright of the image. So immediately I think this is great news. Like, because we don't want just anyone out there putting your art up, right? So I'm like, oh, this makes me feel great. I'm like, well, I can absolutely verify the authenticity of this artwork. What do I have to do? So there's a form you have to fill out. So I'm like looking at the form, but it's not a real form, right? It's like a place to upload a document, but no specific document, and then a little overview. And then here's a kicker. In order to submit it, you have to pay 1 Ethereum, which is $3,500.
How much?
$3,500.
Huh?
And I'm like, absolutely. And then, it's fully refundable. Well, but who knows, right? So then I'm on with chat again, and I'm telling them, this doesn't make any sense. You took, if this was legitimate, I should have had to prove the artwork before it was sold. 1, because someone else bought this, right? I would have verified the artwork before you got a commission. 2. And 3, if any of these things were to happen, I should have been able to use the money already generated, right? So this is when the gentleman or whoever was replying to me said, oh, it's in our terms of service, which it's not the terms of service, right? So immediately that was, I think to me, enough flags to say that it's not authentic, right? So of course, this and many other things that we're going to do are going to help regular people, right, understand how they can safely transact these pieces of investment online. I think that's why the industry has such a bad name.
Yeah. Well, every financial industry has a bad name. Okay? There isn't one that doesn't. In the old police saying, if you want to find the crime, follow the money.
That's it.
Okay? And, some of the most revered and respected people in the financial industry, like Bernie Madoff, everybody thought he was the king of the roost in Wall Street. Well, we know what happened there. And our dear friend Jeffrey, and that it's, yeah. And of course there's a lot of very legitimate folks in it too, but there's always going to be a few little snakes in the garden.
There are, but and that's what I was thinking to myself, because I was kind of happy, and people were like, oh, this is terrible. I'm like, you know what? No, it's not terrible, because this is exactly the lesson. This is a very easy lesson to make now. I mean, and they're not very smart criminals, because if they had been, they would have led me on. And that's what I want people to realize. I mean, if they were smart criminals, I mean, I could be a really smart criminal, but I'm too ethical for that, right? But they could have, and there might be ones out there that would let it happen. Okay, I'm going to give you your money back this time. Now I have the confidence to put more art in.
Yeah, they won't do that. They won't give you they do not. There's the flow of money always has to go in a specific direction.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like a little bit like, oh, I wanted to take out a little bit. Oh, let me take out a little bit. Then I'm going to burn more.
Yeah.
I mean, so but I think the bottom line, it made me feel so committed to why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there who, like yourself, real artists, fine artists, who need a platform that they can trust. There are investors out there who want guarantees that the art is copyrighted, is legitimate, and I think now this is just part of our mission of I'm going to be doing platform reviews of other sites, going to make sure that whenever something comes out, we're reviewing it and writing about it, so that everyone out there can safely navigate in this bold new world.
Yeah, and the one thing about the arts is there's very little legitimate fine art in this world. Very little legitimate. There's lots of kinky junk.
What can you define for our audience what fine art is?
Fine art can be in many different styles, but it's executed by someone with extreme skill. Okay, it's even if it's impressionistic, like Moreau was a fine artist.
Yes.
When you looked at his piece, even though it was a bunch of dippy-dobs of paint and things like that, you got a feeling out of it. And it was pretty. And you go, if I could afford it, which I can't, I would put that on my wall. It's like music. Would you listen to this album or wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you play this in your car repeatedly? And very often the answer is absolutely not. It would make me crazy. It's terrible.
Right.
But I like this and I like that. And you know, was Pavarotti really a good opera singer? You go, yes, it was. Okay, yeah. I'll buy that little album and stick it in my little rack over
And
here.
I think it doesn't mean that like everyone has people have different tastes, but it's the level of artistry that is what we're looking for here.
The level of the skill of the artistry. If it's yes, even simple lines can be brilliant. You know, I happen to like good abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good abstraction? It's a well thought out mathematical scenario in color, a depth of value, meaning the difference between light and shade, and balance. And a good one is quite well thought out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bullseye. It's like your eye keeps moving and you could just keep looking at it forever.
And it gives you a good feeling.
Yeah.
Because we humans buy art for two reasons. Okay. One, somebody told them it was a good deal. Okay. That's not a legitimate buyer nor a legitimate seller. Okay. The other one is you like it. It makes you feel good. You derive you can feel a sense that it was created with a sense of passion. And when you feel that type of thing, that's real art. I've seen several pieces with Elon Musk. I've seen it with Warren Buffett.
You mean the fate generated stuff?
Where they'll come up with the script is so smooth. You go, this has been edited and thought out and thought over many times. And then the AI duplicates their voice.
Oh, yes. There's deep fakes, crazy deep fakes.
Then the next thing they do is take a picture of the individual, right? And the AI makes the lips move according to the words.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can make an avatar. There's video avatars now. So I had someone who's on my podcast and he's specializing in this, right? And I thought for a minute, maybe I need like an Anna AI. It's like, it would be not hard. There's a certain script you read so that they have the certain voice characters.
Yeah.
And then that combination of sounds can be used to make anything, right? And then you just have a couple, of your head. But then immediately I had that eerie feeling. I'm like, oh no. I mean, I think the only time that could happen is if like your hair was blue or like you made it so that people knew this is the AI.
Yeah.
Not like the
average person, but somebody who is looking for it and who has enough of a brain, which that's a problem with humanity.
Yes.
60% of the population is pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I
think that's pretty kind, actually.
Huh?
That's a pretty kind number.
I'm trying.
It could
to
be.
be nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems pretty. It seems like
they cannot decipher it. They can't decipher it, but you can. You'll see. Okay. There's no way Warren Buffett could speak for this long, this articulately, and keep on going, and there's no mistakes.
Right.
Okay? That ain't Warren.
Right. No pauses. No. No. Nothing.
It's they got all the good stuff in there.
Right.
But then you look at the face, and you go, that old fucker would be really tired by now because this thing is 20 minutes in, and there's no way he could talk.
Not getting a glass of water, or sweat, or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's the same thing that I was telling some of my clients about. You got to use your spidey senses. You have to use this almost like the fifth dimension. Like you have to feel, and you have to feel things.
Yeah.
Like you feel that it's wrong. Like that's your intuition is critical in today's day.
Yeah. I've always felt, and I have my book of rules, which is the book I'm writing in how to fix the problems, is if you're going to publish something, whether it's in video or writing or whatever, you have to state at the beginning of it that it's real, it's been fact checked, and if you want to and at the end also, and it has to be backed up by the law. Okay, if you say that it is and it isn't, now you're culpable for a serious criminal fine. Okay, the yeah, there's so much out there is just bullshit.
It is.
Just total bullshit.
It is. Well, you know what? I think that's a great place to stop, because what we know isn't bullshit is Artopia NFT, because the only people who will be allowed on the site are verified masters of fine art, like our first one and partner, John Pitre. So I'm really excited, and please check it out. I know a lot of you out there are thinking to yourselves, oh, wow, this is scary, but we're here. I'm here to hold your hand. Crypto is the future. Digital currency is the future. And securing your wealth into items like fine art masterpieces is something that you will thank yourself for later. So, let us be your guide. And I can't wait to see you next week as I interview another industry expert in topics to help you succeed on and offline. I'll see you in the pixels. Aloha. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Covert Code Podcast. If you're loving the insights we share here, don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more digital innovators like you. Share this episode with your friends and colleagues on social media and help spread the word. And if you're in the solar space or just curious about where clean energy is headed, I'm thrilled to announce my brand new podcast, The Solar Coaster. This show digs into the real stories, trends, and challenges of the solar industry, with bold conversations and powerful takeaways you won't hear anywhere else. Follow the Solar Coaster now so you don't miss a single episode. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the pixels. Aloha.